It began with silence, a frozen scream, one glitch that locked every wallet in the city. By nightfall, people were screaming in the streets, and Sarah Mitchell was standing in the middle of a riot no one saw coming. Stick till the end, because the truth behind this moment will terrify you. What if tomorrow, your money just stopped working? Would you stay calm, or would you fight? Stay here, because what Sarah lived through could happen to anyone, even you. Sarah Mitchell wasn't special. At least, that's how she saw herself. 34, office worker, single mom. Every morning was a sprint between daycare drop-offs and morning meetings. Her armor was normal, a swipe for the train, a tap for coffee, and earbuds in to block out the world. Digital life was her beat, her safety net, the thread that kept things from getting too crazy. She didn't carry cash anymore. Why would she? The bills she once stuffed in her wallet felt like fossils now, relics of a slower world. Her son, 8 years old, once asked, "Mom, what's a quarter even for?" She laughed, brushing it off. Because in their city, money wasn't paper, it was signals, codes, and swipes. That morning, the city buzzed as always. Coffee steam curled into the cold air, train doors hissed open and shut, and card readers blinked like tiny green promises. Sarah trusted it all without thinking, trusted that every beep meant life was on track. But in those beeps and swipes, the first cracks were already starting to show, cracks she couldn't see yet. Cracks that would soon turn her normal day into a nightmare she would never forget. It started so small, so ordinary, a grocery checkout. Sarah's basket wasn't much, a carton of milk, a loaf of bread, a few apples for her kids' lunchboxes. She smiled politely, tapped her phone against the terminal. Nothing. The screen flickered, froze. The cashier's brow creased as if she had done something wrong. Sarah swallowed, tried again. Still nothing. A low sigh came from somewhere in the line behind her. The beep of another open register echoed like a reminder she couldn't move forward. Heat crept up her neck, her palms slick. "It's not me," she whispered to no one in particular, "it's the system." But no one cared. The eyes around her didn't see a glitch, or a failed network. They saw her, a grown woman who couldn't even pay for groceries. And in that moment, it wasn't just food she couldn't buy. It was dignity slipping through her fingers, replaced with the sting of shame and the quiet terror that maybe, somehow, she had failed. By noon, the glitch wasn't small anymore. ATMs blinked to black, one after another, their screens flashing error before going dark. Transit cards refused to scan, turnstiles stuck like iron bars. Cafes closed mid-order, their digital tills frozen. A lot of notifications came in on Sarah's phone, bank error. Try again later. The words kept going around and around, making fun of her for how useless they were. Desperate, she dialed customer support. Busy tone. Tried another store. Declined again. Around her, the air grew heavier, frustration boiling over. A man stormed out of a pharmacy, slamming his useless cart on the glass door, shouting curses. A young mother sobbed quietly, rocking her baby, clutching diapers she couldn't pay for. The city's rhythm, the beep-beep of transactions, the smooth hum of digital life, was gone, replaced with silence, shouting, and fear. Sarah glanced at her screen. Her account balance glowed, perfectly fine. The money was there, but it might as well have been on the moon. She couldn't touch it, couldn't feed her kids, couldn't even buy a loaf of bread. For the first time, Sarah felt what she never thought possible, being rich on paper, and broke in real life. By evening, panic had cracked wide open into chaos. Supermarket parking lots overflowed with restless crowds, their voices rising into a chant, "Let us in. We need food." Police in neon vests formed a shaky barrier, but every shout, every push made the line tremble. Fear was turning into fury. Sarah was there, not as a protester, not as a fighter, just one woman in the storm. Yet she was swept up in the wave of bodies, pressed shoulder to shoulder with strangers whose eyes glistened with hunger and rage. Her phone, clutched tight in her hand, buzzed once before freezing again. No signal, no balance she could reach. Just a glowing reminder of what she couldn't have. Glass shattered with a sharp crack. A bottle arced through the air and burst against a wall. The crowd screamed, some in anger, some in terror. A man lunged through the broken door, clutching loaves of bread like stolen treasure, sprinting into the night. Others followed, desperate, frantic. And Sarah, she just stood still, her groceries long forgotten, her hands trembling around the cold weight of her phone. It wasn't a lifeline. It was the chain, a glowing chain that reminded her she was trapped, locked out of her own survival. In that moment, Sarah understood. This wasn't just a glitch, a delay, a minor hiccup. It was a prison. Every door she needed, every meal her children deserved, every ounce of safety, all of it locked away inside distant servers she could never see, never fight, never touch. She felt the weight of invisible walls closing in, built not of bricks or bars, but of signals, codes, and silent failures. Her stomach churned with the same question echoing through the crowd, the same question that will echo in your mind too. What would you do? Would you fight, clawing for bread in a city unraveling around you? Or would you wait, helpless, praying the system wakes up before you and your family starve? Sarah was pushed to the ground in the middle of the chaos. Her basket tipped over, and apples fell all over the concrete, rolling under boots that were running away. She reached out, desperate to save just one, yet each one was crushed, stomped, lost. The noise around her swelled, shouts, breaking glass, the thud of fists on locked doors. She pulled her arms tight around herself, trembling, trying to make her body smaller as fear pressed in from all sides. Her daughter's face flashed in her mind, wide eyes waiting at the window, tiny hands reaching for dinner. What if she walked home empty-handed tonight? What if tomorrow, there was nothing left to bring? For the first time, Sarah felt it sink deep into her bones, not just hunger, not just fear, but the crushing truth of being utterly powerless in a world that had forgotten how to survive without a signal. Eventually, the wail of sirens drowned the chaos. Flashing lights cut through the dark, police forcing the crowd back with shields and barked orders. But nothing was fixed. Storefronts remained locked. ATMs were still dead. Phones still buzzed with the same hollow errors. The money was frozen. The hunger, the fear, only deeper now. Sarah walked home through the broken streets, shoes crunching on shattered glass. In her hand, she clutched the one bruised apple she'd managed to save from the ground. She held it like treasure, like proof. Not just of survival, but of something bigger. Proof that the system everyone trusted, the system they built their lives around, could collapse in a single night. And when it did, everything cracked with it. Remember that riot at the start? That wasn't random chaos. It was never random. It was the inevitable result of a world that gambled everything on flawless code. Because when code fails, humans don't just fail, they unravel. The riot no one predicted wasn't about politics, or protest, or ideology. It wasn't even about anger. It was about something older, sharper, unstoppable: hunger. And hunger doesn't wait for servers to reboot, for apps to reload, or for bankers in glass towers to push a button. Hunger claws. Hunger breaks glass. Hunger turns supermarkets into battlegrounds and neighbors into predators. All it takes is one frozen screen, and centuries of order collapse in minutes. That night proved something terrifying: money was never real. It was trust. And when that trust disappeared, so did the thin line keeping society together. Think about it. One glitch, one blackout, and your city, your home, your family, could descend into the same madness. Because hunger doesn't care about progress. Hunger doesn't wait. Sarah's story is a warning. Convenience can collapse in an instant. And when it does, society's mask of order tears away to reveal the chaos beneath. So I'll ask you again, do you still trust a world without cash? Tell me in the comments, could you survive if your money disappeared overnight? And don't forget to subscribe, because next time, the story might be yours.